obviously 13 years since the original film, and it was making me wonder, along the way, what would you say was, I guess, kind of the low point where you might have thought to yourself, like, wow, we really might not make this happen, and then ultimately, how did you overcome that and see it through to fruition?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, we did all our performance capture. We started in September of 17. We did performance capture for a year and a half. Then we did over a year of live action photography. I think the lowest point was, you know, when we all got locked down. The whole world got locked down. Everything was up for grabs. All of our priorities suddenly didn't mean what we thought they meant, you know, and recovering and coming out of that and getting back into production and then working for a subsequent couple of years on a film that might not have theaters to play in, you know, and then slowly seeing the industry around me recovering as I'm finishing the film, and then building up optimism and confidence that there will be theaters to play the film in. You know, and I think had we come out any earlier, there would have been no hope for profitability. Right now we're a bit on the cusp, right, because we haven't come fully back yet. We're at about 80%. You know, so, well, what the heck? We just have to be better. We just have to be a better movie.
I got a lot of faith that a lot of people are going to prioritize seeing this in the next couple of weeks.
I
was very curious about the writing process on this, because I know it was important to you to have the screenplays for the future films written out before going into production on this. So why was that important? And do you think that all film series would benefit from that development process, or is that specific to Avatar?
Well, I don't think it's specific to Avatar. I mean, if you look at my model was what Peter Jackson did with The Lord of the Rings, which was a crazy bet in its time. And really, you know, hats off to that they took that chance to launch on all three of those films. But he had the books mapped out, so he could always show the actors what they needed to know about their character arc. So I felt I had to do the same thing. I had to play this as if the books already existed. So the only way for us to do that was to, you know, write all the scripts and let the actors read all the scripts and see where their characters were going and what it all meant. You know, not that that's actable in the moment, but I think it's something that the actors could work into their preparation for their characters, so they knew, okay, we're going to come in and film this in bite-sized chunks, not necessarily in sequence. We're going to be shooting parts of 2, parts of 3, parts of 4 on any given day. That's a challenge, but it's no different a challenge than, let's say, if you're working on a limited series and you've got a home set that's going to be seen across 6 hours. It's no different. I mean, I'm not saying there's anything unique about this, but I felt that it was the right way to approach it with the actors, and also to let them see where it's all going, so they're properly motivated and enthused. Because the story's a corker. By the time we get down to 4 and 5, if we're so lucky, you know, knock wood, to get that far, you know, which is obviously driven by market forces, we have to be successful.
I heard you use that term in another interview, and I am curious, because I think you were specifically talking about film 4. What is it that makes it a corker? What is it about that film that makes it stand out from what we'll have seen?
I can't tell you the details, but all I can say is that when I turned in the script for 2, the studio gave me 3 pages of notes. And when I turned in the script for 3, they gave me a page of notes, so I was getting better. When I turned in the script for 4, the studio executive, the creative executive over the films, wrote me an email that said, "Holy fuck." and I said, "Well, where are the notes?" And she said, "Those are the notes." Because it just goes, it kind of goes nuts in a way that, like, in a good way, right? You think you know what it's about, and then no, you don't.
I believe. I have all the faith in the world in you. And speaking of that,
so I hope I get to make that film, is what I'm saying.
I'm rooting for it, and I believe in it. I can't imagine these movies without you at the helm, and I know you've previously said that one day you might hand the directing reins over to someone else. So what would you need to see in a future director to ensure to you that, yes, this person can, you know, like, handle my baby and this gigantic production that, like, really, I can't picture very many people on this planet being able to kind of orchestrate and conduct?
I think there are a lot of good filmmakers out there, and a lot of good filmmakers that understand how to do CG and animation and world building and all that sort of thing. I think that what I would look for was somebody that is willing to be humble before the specific craft of how you make one of these films, because it's taken us, at this point, 15, 16 years to figure it out, and we're still learning day to day. So it would take time to transfer that knowledge, but I think, you know, with respect to, or in respect to the studio that's writing these massive checks to create this world, this persistent world, I think it's good for us to have at least some kind of a plan to hand that over. You know, I mean, nobody lives forever, and I might get sick, somebody in my family might get sick, you know, I might have to step back, and I don't want that to be the case, obviously. I want to do all 5 of them myself, but I think it would be good to have some kind of a plan in place to be able to turn the reins over.
Well, whether it's you, whether you're handing that plan over to someone else, I have faith. Congratulations
Okay,
yet
all right,
again.
all right, thanks.